So Luigi Mangione, if you don't know who this man is, I mean, you've been living under a rock for the past few months. This was easily the biggest story that came out, like at the end of last year, because this all happened at the start of December, when the CEO of American Health Insurance was shot dead in the middle of New York, like just in the middle of the street, and no one knew who the guy was. And then a couple days later, well, a few days later, so the shooting happened on December 4th, and then December 9th, Luigi Mangione was arrested, and he is now being put through the courts to be convicted of the killing of Brian Thompson. But there has been a few updates with this court case that are not looking good from the side of like the courts and the police of when it comes to prosecuting Luigi. Now, when it comes to like whether people think Luigi is guilty or not, there is a lot of people out there, and I mean a lot of people on both the sides of they don't think Luigi is the person who even did this killing. They think that he is just pretty much like a plan. He's just being accused of this and he's not actually the one who did it. And then there's also people who say like, even if Luigi is the one that did it, he should still get off because of how corrupt the health system in America is. Now, when it comes to Luigi, I'm just going to say that, hey, I've seen like a lot of the things that he said beforehand when it came to like, you know, the corruption in the healthcare system of America, the private healthcare, you know, big pharma and all that stuff. And when it comes to all that, I 100% agree with Luigi. Like, I live here in Australia and I'm thankful that we have public health and we also have private health, and it's not as corrupt as it is in America. Nowhere near that whatsoever. But at the same time, going out and shooting someone in the middle of the street, that's not going to solve any issues. It's really not. It's not going to do anything, and you can't just go on around killing anyone. There has been some updates on the court case today, and like I said, it is not looking good from the side of the people that are trying to prosecute Luigi, where there is a couple updates to come out of this first one right here, because there's been a lot of Twitter accounts that have been following this, and I have double checked this stuff, and none of them have been community noted as well, because you know that if something comes out and it's false, it's going to get community noted like almost straight away. So all of these have been checked and they aren't actually false. This is the first one right here where it says, according to a motion filed today by Luigi Mangione's Pennsylvania attorney regarding his arrest at a McDonald's in Altoona after almost 17 minutes of unlawful detention and interrogation, Officer Fox of the police department finally read the defendant his Miranda rights. At the conclusion at the reading of the Miranda rights, they asked him if he wishes to speak, and he shook his head no. Officer Fox immediately stated, "You are not in custody." This statement was materially false, incorrect, and contrary to the law. The defendant was in fact in custody, and in fact had been in custody since his illegal unlawful seizure and detention. And not only this, but there is regards to the evidence as well of when it comes to Luigi and this whole entire case, where this account says that Luigi Mangione's backpack was repacked by the officers after seizing and searching it at McDonald's. They later brought it to the police department and found the gun. If his attorney's motion for unlawfully obtained evidence is granted, all his evidence would be inadmissible in court. And then also it keeps going on as well, saying attorney Tom Dickey filed a motion for unlawfully obtained evidence at Luigi Mangione's McDonald arrest. Luigi was blocked from exit by around 10 cops forming a human wall around him. They seized and searched his backpack out of his sight. They didn't read him his rights at first, which I already talked about. And it also states when it comes to the attorneys of Luigi, it says Luigi Mangione's attorney KFA said they want to fight against search and seizure issued for alleged gun and manifesto in Pennsylvania. He was supposed to have a court date on February 24th, but the Department of Justice is refusing to transport him to Pennsylvania court. So this is not good. Like, this is very, very unprofessional from the side of the police that went around this. Now, when it comes to Miranda rights, because this is mainly a big thing in America, because here in Australia, if you get arrested in any way possible, as a police person, you don't have to go ahead and read someone their rights. Their rights in the Miranda rights, it's automatically like stated when you're getting arrested. But when it comes to America, you have to read that person their rights. This means any officer who doesn't read someone their Miranda rights during an arrest cannot face legal action by the arrested individual. Additionally, they can't face a lawsuit for violating someone's Miranda rights. But this does not mean that you just get off scot-free, because that's what I've seen a lot of people think. A lot of people think that like, oh, Now, Luigi gets to come off scot-free. He just gets to come off and that's it. He's a free man. Oh, yes, they didn't read him his rights and all this kind of stuff. No, that's not necessarily true. Many people believe that if they are arrested and not read their rights, they can escape punishment. Not true. But if the police fail to read a suspect their Miranda rights, the prosecutor can't, for most purposes, use anything the suspect says as evidence against the suspect at trial. Of course, as with nearly all legal rules, there are exceptions. But what I am guessing that like Luigi's attorneys would try to do when it comes to this whole entire stuff, because this is very unprofessional by the police, 110%. Like, as a police officer, especially when it comes to a case this big, like, this was very publicized. And I said it like previously when I talked about this, when it came to, you know, them publicizing Luigi. Like, remember when he was making his walkout of when he first got arrested, and there's like 50 cops behind him, and they're like and they're putting it on live TV. I'm just like, why is this so publicized like this? This is so unprofessional. But regardless of that, you would think that when it came to this being as public as it was, that as a police officer, you would go through the effort to make sure that you are doing things step by step during the arrest of such a high profile person like Luigi. The fact that they didn't read him his Miranda rights at first, and then they supposedly also like told him at the time that he's not in custody, even though he was suspect number one after the photos came out of him at the McDonald's before he pulled out the shooting on Brian Thompson. Like, he was public enemy number one for the police, without a doubt. And then the fact that they like actually searched his bag there and then repacked it and then found the evidence at like the police station. They didn't go through the proper proceedings of when it came to, you know, the arrest and searching for evidence. The thing that like Luigi's attorneys could possibly do with this is go through for a mistrial. Now, a mistrial, I'm not like, you know, I'm not a law person. Of like, you know, I'm not 100% sure of when it comes to like, you know, exactly how a mistrial is filed and exactly how, you know, the court proceedings of all that kind of stuff. But that's just from what I've heard and from what I've read. And it says here that a mistrial occurs when a jury is unable to reach a verdict and there must be a new trial with a new jury, or there is a serious procedural error or misconduct that would result in an unfair trial and the judge adjourns the case without a decision on the merits and awards a new trial. So that is 100% what could happen, and that would actually go in favor of Luigi Mangione, because like, you know, with the fact that he wasn't read his Miranda rights at first, and then also the fact that there's a bit of like, you know, question marks around the evidence now of when it came to, you know, repacking his backpack. A lot of people are now starting to speculate online, because like I said, when it comes to this, there's a lot of conspiracy theories around Luigi of whether he did it or not, and also people saying that, you know, he should just be let off scot-free. But this is just starting to like, you know, ramp up those conspiracy theories even more. They're just like, they didn't read him his Miranda rights. They told him he wasn't in custody. And now there's suspected of like the police like mishandling a lot of the evidence. This seems sus. And you know what? Usually I'm not one for conspiracy theories, and I still don't believe them. Like, I don't believe that, you know, he was, you know, planted. I believe that, you know what? I saw the photos of him at the McDonald's and in the shooting. I think he's the one that did it, you know, and you can't just go around killing people. But I can still understand that if you are someone who doesn't believe that Luigi did this and you're seeing all this stuff come out, of course it's going to feed into that like conspiracy theory even more. How could it not? It looks sus. Like, it definitely does look sus, and it's just been like mistreated. But this is, like I said, this is not good from the side of the prosecutors and has been handled extremely terribly. And I could definitely see like the attorneys going towards a mistrial. Now, whether it happens or not is definitely in question marks. But we'll just have to wait and see. This court proceeding has just like started to get underway. We don't really know too much. I wish they live streamed it. I mean, if they could live stream Luigi's court hearing like they did with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, that would be amazing. But sadly, they haven't been. But yeah, I would definitely like to hear what you guys think about all this down below. What do you think about this whole Luigi situation? What do you think about these new updates? That's going to be it from me. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.